City Council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cadella.
Here.
Alderman Coles.
Here.
Alderman Lewitton.
Here.
Alderman Police.
Here.
Alderman Shockey.
Here.
Alderman Eugene Wesley.
Here.
Alderman Roy Wesley.
Here.
Alderman Winger. Here. Mayor Johnson.
Here. Quorum being present, would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Wait a minute. Oh, this chair's moving. Wait a minute. The chair's moving. Hold the chair. Just hold the chair. I'm holding it. Come on. Okay, it's a little too far. I'm all set.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just so moving. We're holding it. I got it. Okay. It spins too much.
May I have a
Can't
motion to
stop.
approve the minutes of February 10th, 2011?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do any citizens wish to address the City Council this evening? If so, if you go to the podium and give us your name and address, please. Hearing none, I do not have any written communiques. Under Mayor's Report, a couple items. We received a notice from the Office of Emergency Management. There's been several inquiries regarding the potential of flooding. The creek has risen up 1 foot. It's anticipated there's going to be 1 inch of additional rains between now and Monday. They do not anticipate that that will result in any flooding anywhere in DuPage County. So, a couple days ago, I got appointed to the governor's task force on the Elgin O'Hare, the Western Access Committee. I'm going to be assigned to working on the Finance Committee on that, which means you need to come up with $2.2 billion. So if anybody wants to write a check, that would be appreciated.
I don't have the money.
Joe, you are the one person who could probably do it up here.
I don't have the money. I just spent all mine. I had to work for in 6 months.
Joking aside, the current plan is to get the toll road to fund it. They're saying they can only maximize bonds of $1.5 billion if they don't tap the revenue streams from 294 and 355. So there'd be a $700 million shortfall. I'm hoping we can go to the the Congress and get in the next federal transportation bill the balance of the funding. Absent that, there are some crazy ideas out there to do an overlay district over the 28 towns in the area and to tax a special service area on the affected communities in the amount of $700 million. Obviously, we're opposed to that, I presume. I know I am. There's even an extreme measure to just tax the 8 collar communities along the expressway, $700 million. So glad for the appointment. I will be a spokesman against that, obviously. Last thing I have on my agenda, I want to remind everybody this Saturday night at the VFW, that's this Saturday, February 19th, from 5 to 8 p.m., fried chicken dinner, $8 per plate. It says here it's the best fried chicken in town. So 5 to 8 p.m. this Saturday. And that concludes my report. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 2 items. First item, the council should have received the information on the treatment plant discussion for next week's committee in your packets earlier this week. It was quite a lengthy piece, so that's why you got it early in preparation for next week. If you have any questions, contact myself or John Kramer, and we'll try to answer them the best we can in preparation for next week. One other item, I was also in contact with the Office of Emergency Management, and in reference to the most recent blizzard, it does look like we will likely get the 75% reimbursement for our costs associated with that blizzard. I think there's still a couple of T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted, but we should get 75% reimbursement. And that concludes my report.
Assuming President Obama signs off on it, which I believe he will, but I think that's the final step. That brings us to the consent agenda. Is there any objections to any items on the consent agenda? If not, may I have a motion to approve the agenda? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Now may I have a motion to approve the items on the agenda being a resolution providing for the adoption of the DuPage County Natural Hazards Mitigation Plan, approval of lease agreement with DeVry, resolution closing Irving Park Road for Memorial Day Parade, a series of MFT resolutions, approval of an intergovernmental agreement for the interoperability emergency dispatch radio system, and approval of a contract amendment with RJN Group for the Addison Road water main in the amount of $19,890. Is there such a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman R. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Lewitton?
Yes.
Alderman Cadella?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Cole?
Yes.
Alderman Pleas?
Yes.
Those items are approved. Item 1 is approved as Resolution R-11-6. Item 3 is approved as Resolution R-11-7. Items 4 through 10 are approved as Resolutions R-11-7 through 14. That brings us to committee chairman reports. Planning and Zoning and Building, Alderman Cadella.
No report, Mayor.
Public Health, Safety and Judiciary, Alderman Shockey.
No report.
Public Works, Alderman Wesley.
No report, Mayor.
Finance and Administration, Alderman Weir.
I have no report.
Under Other Business, Alderman Shockey.
Yes, I'd like to pass the voice to Alderman Eugene Wesley, who was there to see it firsthand. If you would, Mr. Wesley.
Sure. On Tuesday, I attended the fire district meeting, and there was a conversation that went down about going outside for dispatching. As of right now, the city of Wooddale does the dispatching for the fire district. They did receive 2 proposals. They are looking to outsource it, that I'm got that feeling that they are going to move out or come back to us. But my concern that I raised at the meeting as a citizen for the community is that our concern was a timeline that will be missing when the 911 center goes, the phone call goes somewhere else, and then it has to be transferred somewhere else. On this council, in the past couple of years that we have, that has been our concerns for the citizens in this community about trying to work with the fire district to remain in our police station. I do not know if that is going to happen. I did voice my concern on that behalf, that relaying time to dispatch a call, don't know how long, I don't have any documentation, it could be a minute, it could be less than a minute, but anyways, it could be a lapse of a time where it would go. They did table that item at this time. There is a special meeting the 22nd regarding this discussion. So I just want to bring that out to the public, and I bring it out to the council here, that is their intention as possibly leaving the city and going somewhere else. And as a citizen, that I would be a little concerned about that, of the safety of the community, and that's why I'm speaking about that at this time. I have nothing else to say unless, well,
Alderman Shockey.
thank you.
I've spent time in the dispatch center watching what goes on over there, and I'm trying to understand it because it gets pretty complicated. And there's been times when a lady has called and didn't speak real good English and tried to explain an emergency that was going on. And it took a little while to get the dispatcher to understand it and what her address was. Even though it's listed up there, they have to confirm it. I can just imagine what would happen if this same lady had called and explained all this, and then our dispatcher would have to press a button and have it go to another dispatch center where the lady would have to explain it all over again, and then they would have to inform the fire department about it. I don't understand why the fire department has this attitude about not wanting to use our dispatch center when it concerns the safety of our public. We're not talking about seconds, we may be talking about a number of minutes. And if it's a stroke or a heart attack, that could very well be the difference. So I personally will be attending that meeting at the fire board on February 22nd, and I would encourage anybody else who has a concern about it to attend that meeting as well. It's at 7:30, I believe, on next Tuesday, the 22nd. So, Alderman Roy Wesley.
Alderman Wesley?
As past president of the Wooddale Fire District, that was brought up when I was president of the fire board too, about going out to dispatching. And that's when I started setting up meetings with the Wooddale Police Department to see if there was problems, and that's when it all started. It was told then that there would be a delay, and I believe the citizens of Wooddale doesn't deserve any delay. I like to bring it up at the Public Health and Safety meeting, to put on the agenda. At the committee meeting. Also would like the city to send them a letter and saying that, to invite them to our meeting and to hold off on discussion of this 22nd meeting, but I don't think they will. So I encourage everyone to show up at that meeting on the 22nd too. But I want them to come here and explain to the people what they're actually doing, since they don't televise their meetings and since they took the ambulance away from the other station. I mean, the citizens need to know this stuff.
Alderman Lewitton?
I'd just like to point out and make a statement to everybody who's listening out there. One of the reasons why there's going to be a delay is that all 911 calls are going to come to the police department. The police have to determine whether it's a police call or a fire call. If it's a police call, they'll send a police car. If it's a fire call, they dispatch the fire department now. If this goes through, it means the police will have to transfer the call to an outside vendor, which means that everything that Dan Schalke said about repeating the story a second time is going to happen. Everything that Eugene Wesley said is going to be true. Everything that Roy Wesley said is going to be true. It's going to cause a delay. And on a fire, we just passed a new code about sprinklers because of the fact that newer buildings have more plastic. And the time for survival has been reduced from 15 minutes to 7 minutes to escape a fire. If the person on the phone spends a minute with the police department and then is going to spend another minute with the outside vendor, his escape time is reduced from 1/7 to 1/3. That's critical. There's no comment. I'm not looking for anyone to answer. I'm just pointing out why all these bricks make a wall.
I was just informed also that the meeting is at 7 o'clock at the fire station on Tuesday, February 22nd, for any citizens who would like to attend. Thank you.
Alderman Coles?
All right. There was 3 or 4 meetings of the fire department. This was quite a few years ago, and I was on that committee. And we told them that was when they made the police department put in all new equipment. We hired an extra person, all of that, in order to handle the the radio calls. And we went along with them. The price went up, and the next year or the year after, they came back and said, no, we can't afford that. So we gave them a break back to the years that we were doing before. And we told them that if they moved there, that the amount of time that would be needed would slow down the fire department from coming over to somebody's house. In the first 5 minutes, when a fellow has a heart attack, the first 5 minutes is the most important time of his life. Because if you don't catch him in the first 5 minutes, he may not pull out. Or if he pulls out, he may have brain damage. All of that stuff you have to worry, the fire department has to worry about, and they probably don't even care. That's the way I look at it. All right? So as far as I'm concerned, I'll be really against it, against them moving. But you can't stop them if they're going to do it.
Alderman Shockey?
By the way, I believe that the price we gave them was below our actual cost, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not a matter of
I know
money.
how much it was.
Alderman Wesley?
So are we going to put it on the agenda for discussion? Because, you know, the city of Wooddale has bent over backwards for the fire department on giving them everything they want. When I was there, Joe, I think it was in communication with you when I was there, when the city put in those things. And the city has spent many thousands of dollars to make it easy for the fire department and to communicate with the fire department and to give the citizens the best safety that they possibly can. Alderman Shockey, I really would like to have this on the committee.
Alderman Shockey, would you add that to your agenda next Thursday?
I would be happy to, but at the same time, the meeting is the 22nd, which is before our next committee meeting. So again, I encourage everyone who has an interest to attend that meeting at 7 p.m. Tuesday, February 22nd at the firehouse.
Could I,
And it also will be on the committee meeting next week.
Alderman Wesley?
could we ask the city manager to draft up a letter to send it to them? To attend?
We can certainly inform them we're placing that on our agenda and request that they attend, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just before we leave this topic, I think both governments have the best interests of the city of Wooddale and the citizens of Wooddale at heart. I trust that everybody is acting here with that in mind, that utmost is our service to the citizens of Wooddale. And in the meantime, between now and those two dates, I would hope that city staff, the two chiefs, I know they're trying to, if they haven't already, if they will be in touch with each other and the manager and the administrative side over there, and if we can work this out, so much the better for the citizens of Wooddale. Anything further? If not, there is no items to be referred under items for information only. I'll go back to the bills in a minute. Just to remind everybody again of the chicken dinner this Saturday night at the VFW from 5 to 8. That brings us back to bills. Alderman Winger?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve a list of bills dated February 17, 2011 for $888,445.58.
Is there a second
Second.
on the question? Roll call.
Alderman R. Wesley.
Yes.
Alderman Winger.
Yes.
Alderman Lewis.
Yes.
Alderman Cadella.
Yes.
Alderman Shockey.
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley.
Yes.
Alderman Coles.
Yes.
Alderman Police.
Yes.
That passes. May I have a motion to adjourn the city council into executive session for purposes review of the official minutes, pending litigation, and personnel pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C21, 2C11, and 2C1. Is there such a motion?
Move.
Is there a second? Roll call.
Alderman R. Wesley.
Yes.
Alderman Winger.
Yes.
Alderman Lewis.
Yes.
Alderman Cadella.
Yes.
Alderman Shockey.
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley.
Yes.
Alderman Coles. Alderman Police.
Yes.
That passes. We're adjourned.
No, he did it first. You did.